mean, WWE doesn't treat black wrestlers fair. Seems he only cares about being black when it benefits him. Wow.
Who was he talking about in general?
I think that this was, and I got to be sure because I don't want to speak out of school. I think that Swerve did an interview on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and DJ Envy. Yeah. And I believe this subject came up.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it in full context, so I don't want to.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey, this is the Turnbuckle King. We here at Toss Ring Scandal, aka KDH. Got another good one for you guys. We talking about Booker T calls out Swerve Strickland for playing race car after recent WWE remarks. Booker T responds to Swerve Strickland. We gonna get into this, and as usual, it's time to air the dirty laundry. Now we know that Booker T, we know he's very voiced over. He voices his opinion very well on his podcast, Booker T, Hall of Fame podcast. But he's responded to Swerve Strickland, who, like I said, made a comment about what he said on the Breakfast Club. We know Swerve, he recently went on there to talk about his experience in WWE. We know that Swerve also discusses his time in WWE, and we know that he was definitely upset of how WWE booked him, and he responds to people saying that he was overpaid with his recent AEW contract. So we're trying to see, when Swerve said that, who's he referring to in WWE? He never said the name, but I know that Booker T caught wind of this on his podcast, and he responded to Swerve Strickland. Now, Swerve Strickland, he went on Breakfast Club. He also went to talk about his new contract, his whole upbringing, how did he start wrestling, and how he got to WWE, and how he, of course, was released as part of Hit Row, and his, of course, come to AEW, and of course, become an AEW World Champion. But he also mainly voiced about how people was against him getting a very lucrative contract, and he says some that people was, only say some when a black person gets a contract of sorts. But we're going to see what Swerve Strickland had to say about that whole particular thing. Let's see what Swerve Strickland said on the Breakfast Club regarding his whole issue.
WWE felt your contract was above market price.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody complain that somebody got too much money. That's what he said earlier.
Well, they only complain when a black person gets paid. I will say that when it gets paid. Yeah. And that's what, once again, we shake the foundation and things like that, because it's like, oh, snap, wait. And it's not what we would pay. I'm like, then why are you calling me? Why are you asking me?
Right.
Like if I'm not your concern, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about my pockets and our money. We good. Like you have your talent. And you made your decision with me 2 years ago. No hard feelings from me. Boom. I keep it moving. I'm gonna figure my way out, and I'm gonna build myself up.
Is it true they tried to re-sign you? WWE?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so Swerve Strickland, he talks about that's someone WWE possibly was saying something about him, but the question is, who was Swerve talking about in WWE? Who was Swerve talking in particular? He said, you got an opportunity with me 2 years ago. You got the talent. We're good. He said things didn't work out for him. He moved on, and now he's at AEW. Who's he talking about in particular? We don't know. Man, that's very interesting that he has some beef with somebody in WWE. However, Booker T went on his podcast a couple days ago, I think after this interview, and he responded to that, but it was due to a fan asking a question about the whole Swerve Strickland interview, and he has some interesting things to say as well. And this is Booker T on his podcast, Hall of Fame. Let's see what Booker T had to say about this whole situation.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it in full context, so I don't want to speak to it fully without knowing who he's referring to. But let me see, as you answer, let me see if I can find it.
No. I was just wondering, is he talking about someone in specific? Because, look at the black talent in WWE right now, like Bianca Belair, Oba Femi, who else? Who else we got? I mean, the New Day. New Day, they've won more tag team champions than anybody. I mean, Bianca Belair, she's headlining at WrestleMania. Oba Femi's a young guy out of college that's doing big things in NXT. I'm just trying to figure out what he's talking about. Me, I've been working there for 20 years. I'm just trying to figure out if it's something that happened to him personally. For as far as him not getting the push that he wanted in WWE, he felt like perhaps he should have been a bigger star in WWE. I thought before Swerve left, they were doing something with him and Top Dollar and
I mean they had for sure.
What they call
the hit row.
Hit row, yeah. I thought they was trying to do something with that. I mean, and the thing is too, sometimes things don't work out. But I don't know, man. I hate that we're still talking about this race thing as far as what WWE is doing with black folks.
Well, so this is
and I say that with all sincerity, because I'm black and I've been working for the company for a long time, and I know how I've been treated for the last 20 years. That's the only reason I say that. It's the only reason.
Well, and the other thing is, if you just look, I think about talent let's just take NXT for example. I think NXT has a great roster of all talent of all colors, but obviously they have a lot of strong black performers. I mean, we think about Jada Parker, Trick Williams,
with all sincerity, because I'm black and I've been working for the company for a long time, and I know how I've been treated for the last 20 years. That's the only reason I say that. It's the only reason.
Well, and the other thing is, if you just look, I think about talent let's just take NXT for example. I think NXT has a great roster of all talent of all colors, but obviously they have a lot of strong black performers. I mean, we think about Jada Parker, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Oba Femi. That's just name a few. And there's a roster there, and there's an emphasis on wrestlers of all colors, but especially black performers that perhaps wasn't there 15 years ago. I mean, obviously times have changed. Now, what Swerve said, from what I can find, on this was on the Breakfast Club. So I'm guessing this is what it's referring to, because it's the only story I can find that's kind of in relation to this. It said former AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland recently signed a new contract with the company. The deal makes Strickland one of the highest paid wrestlers in the business, something that caught the attention of WWE, who reportedly thought AEW paid above market value for him, which is bad for business. Strickland was asked about these comments during an appearance on the Breakfast Club and believes there's a very specific reason why WWE officials were so rattled by someone like him being given such a big contract. This is what Swerve said. They only complain when a black person gets paid. I will say that. That's what, once again, we shake the foundation and things like that, because it's like, oh, snap, wait, it's not what we would pay. And I'm like, why are you calling out me? Why are you asking me? Like, I'm not your concern. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about my pockets and our money. We're good. You have your talent. Like, you made your decision with me 2 years ago. No hard feelings from me, but boom, I keep it moving. I'm going to figure my way out, and I'm going to build myself up. That seems to be the quote that I can find.
Yeah, but that sounds like he's talking to someone in specific, right?
No, it sounds like there's a rumor, I guess WWE thought AEW overpaid for him.
No. What I'm saying is it's specific to someone saying that he had been overpaid.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So my thing is, it seems like he has, some kind of beef with someone, whoever said that he was overpaid. I don't know who said that. Do you know who said that?
I don't.
Yeah, and I could get Swerve snap back and making a snap back if someone did say something like that. He's getting overpaid, which there again, it's nobody's business. What somebody else is getting paid. First of all, as far as what he was getting paid in WWE, I don't know. But if that's the way he feels, that's his opinion. If he got some kind of personal beef with someone who said, what was said. So I get it. I probably would snap back too if someone said that about me.
Not to change the subject.
So Booker T responds to what Swerve said on the Breakfast Club. He said he understands where Swerve was coming from with frustration, but he did say one important thing. He said, Booker T being a black athlete himself, a former athlete, he said that, he thinks he's been treated fairly well in WWE, being with the company over 20 years. And then he named a couple of the current WWE stars, Bianca Belair, The New Day, Femi NXT. He mentioned all those names. Now think about this, Booker T. You said that Swerve was getting over, and with Top Dollar, who's in TNA. You said that they was doing something with him. Why would he feel that way? But you didn't know the name of the group he was in. In case you guys didn't know, this is Hit Row that they were talking about. This is a stable that Swerve was in while he's with NXT. It was himself on the right, Top Dollar in the back, Ashanti Adonis in the front, and B-Fab. So that is the group that he's referred to. Booker T thought that they was really doing something with them. Now, they was doing well in NXT, but once they got to the main roster, it was not the same scenario. And this is what led to them being released due to budget cuts. But Booker T, honestly, from what you said about Swerve getting over on the main roster, and you didn't even know the name of the group, we got to call it what it is, Booker T. Come on now, you got to stop the cap on that, Booker T. Like I said, Booker T, much respectable podcast. He does very well. Of course, his work, his career speaks for itself. Now it's on NXT. He does his thing, but I disagree with that because you kind of backtrack when you say you didn't know the name of the group that Swerve was in. It's Hit Row. If you knew he was over, you would know the name automatically. But other than that, though, with the situation with Swerve and Booker T, was Booker T right or wrong with what he said in response to Swerve Strickland, what he said on the Breakfast Club, or was Swerve right or wrong what he said? You guys let me know what you think about that whole situation. Other than that, that's all I have regarding Booker T calls out Swerve Strickland for playing a race card after recent WWE remarks. You guys let me know in the comment section below in the live chat. Was Booker T right on what he said? Was he wrong? Was Swerve right for what he said or wrong? Or are they both exaggerated? I would love to hear you guys got to think. You guys make sure you get the likes up. Come to the locker room as we leave the locker room. Soon to videos will pop up. You guys click the links below to the content. Greatly appreciated. You guys already know what it is. It is OUT.
Me and Chris Benoit basically all started together, pretty much. You started a little bit earlier.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But they pushed me to the moon and they held you guys back. And we all started at the same time. We were wrestling each other. We were getting each other over, putting each other over. And I thought we were all going to kind of come up together. And it was like, you guys stayed behind. And it was like, what's going on?
Well, we definitely had to work harder because you already said it, Kurt. You already know the answer is that you were a WWE guy.